Hey there, happy Monday. It is for most of you a day off. If you're watching in America, as it is the observed 4th of July, having it fallen on a Sunday. And I just want to take a moment and talk about one of the powerful lessons I had to learn twice. Before I get started, let me tell you, I have been waiting for over an hour to film this video. One of my neighbors was feeling very industrious today and is chopping down all their trees. So their trees are outside of my office window, which led to some delays while I was doing other things. So, and also with 4th of July, just wanted to brag on my son who is in the Navy, and he is currently out at sea, out in the Pacific Ocean, serving our country. And I'm incredibly proud of him. My son Seth, he will be 22 this month. So I'm going to be putting together some care packages to send him. If anyone has any ideas of some fun ideas I can put in there, if you've ever had your child in the Navy or if you've been in the Navy, I want to do something a little different than just normal snacks for him. So the lesson I had to learn twice was to not allow yourself to get off track or lose sight of your purpose or make important decisions based on other people's opinions or desires or emotions, even if it comes from a really good place. I want to say early in my 20s, when I first started in my career, I worked for an amazing company that just took such great care of everyone on their team. As time went on, they wanted to take care of us so much, and it was really just fantastic. But one of the problems that they had is because they wanted to take care of that team that had been with them for so long and, you know, as many of the needs as they could within the business, they started making business choices and decisions that the business couldn't back up, but met the needs of their employees. And while like, hey, that sounds wonderful, right? How selfless is that act? Unfortunately, over time, it created tension between all of us and them because the business couldn't support the commitments they made to us based on our needs and quite honestly, commitments that they shouldn't have made in the first place, and not to be disrespectful to them, it all came from the right place. But, you know, as those tensions and challenges, and sometimes, you know, like paychecks would be late and things of that nature, and that can be frustrating and whatnot, even if you know it was for a good reason, you know, your mortgage company doesn't care, right? And eventually that, you know, led to some tensions in the relationship and parting of ways for some of the people that were, not just myself, but other people that were part of that team. And when I kind of went on my own in my own direction, I remember that lesson and I said to myself, and I made a commitment to never make that mistake, to never lose sight of the foundations of the business, the purpose of the business, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to take care of those people because just because somebody wants more, if the resources aren't there to support it, well, eventually, you know, that can hurt them. And I stayed true and committed to following through with my purpose and my vision and I guess you could say my calling. And then some changes came up in my life and I made the decision based on my purpose and my calling to leave a very unhealthy relationship and get a divorce. And with that, it had some pretty negative impacts on the businesses I owned. And it had a negative impact on the employees that worked for me. And it began to affect me in my ability to make choices based on my purpose and my vision for the companies I ran and for my future goals, because I allowed my guilt about how it was affecting these people that I cared so much about and how it seems so unfair that they should have to deal with it, to impact the way I made decisions. And I stopped making the decisions based on, you know, the vision, the purpose, and quite frankly, the numbers, because that is part of my responsibility when you're someone carrying out a vision is knowing all the information. And I began to allow myself to be influenced on decisions based on what maybe some employees wanted or what some students wanted, or even what one of my coaches began telling me I should do. And that guilt, and even when I was like, I don't know if that's the right move, I would still be like, no, but this will make this person happy. And they're under so much stress and I just can't cause them any more pain, right? Well, eventually that caught up with me, because just like the story I had seen in the beginning where the resources and the commitments didn't match up, I found myself in that same position. And it's not excusable. I'm not saying like, oh, poor me. That's not the point of what I'm saying. The point of what I'm saying is that other people got hurt. So while my intention and my burning desire had been to take care of these people, the fact that I allowed myself to get off of what I knew was how things had to be done in order to try to please these people ended up hurting them more. And it was the same story I had seen from these other people that I cared about so much. And I still have so much respect for them, so much love for them. While there was tension in the relationship at that time, we've made amends. But I always knew that while those mistakes happened, I always knew where it came from. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter where it comes from. It doesn't matter what your intentions are. When you get off track of your vision and your purpose, that's when you start making big mistakes. That's when you start feeling unsatisfied. You just know things are no longer going the way that they're meant to go, the way that they're called. And in business, it's by the numbers. Like, you have to pay attention to your numbers and your results, and you can't make promises and commitments beyond what the numbers are telling you you're able to fulfill. But that doesn't just apply to business. While what I'm sharing right now is a story that relates to business and the mistakes I made, it applies to every area of life. Because when you start allowing other people, even people that you care about and with good intentions, to influence your decisions and push you away from your core values or the calling or the systems that you have in place that you know in your heart is the way it needs to be for the path you are on, you're failing yourself. And sometimes other people will get hurt, sometimes they won't. It can apply to how you raise your children. There will always be people that will try to tell you that how you're parenting is not the best way. And only you can decide that for your child and yourself. You know your kids better than anyone else. And if you start allowing other influences, whether it's good friends or the media or social media, or even their school administrators. I had a school administrator, actually my sailor right here, trying so hard to get me to do the wrong thing for my son. And thankfully in that case, I stood firm and made choices for him that I knew were going to be better for him and that helped him to succeed. But if I hadn't stayed true to that course for my son at that time, and that's another story, I guess I'll share another time, but it would not have helped him. It would have hurt him and broke him. I see it all the time when I'm training clients for health and fitness and weight loss, because there's always someone that'll tell them that they shouldn't bother trying to lose weight, or that they should gain weight, or they should do this diet, or they should do that diet. And they always get these voices in their ears. And it can cause them to get off track of what they know is the right path for them to achieve their goals and their purpose and their vision for their life. So my challenge for you this Monday is to be aware of the influences and the voices that you let in, and be aware if you begin to stop staying true to your voice and your knowledge, and you begin letting someone else take over your journey. And that's kind of the best way to describe it. It's when you let someone else get in the way of the path, like I did at that time when I was making those decisions. And I'm not saying that those people were wrong. Those people were right in voicing their concerns and their needs. I was wrong for letting that take precedence over what I knew had to happen in order for everyone to succeed, in order for everyone to benefit. I allowed my judgment to get cloudy because I allowed other people's emotions and opinions to influence my direction. So my challenge for this Monday is be mindful of that. Be aware of the people that whose voices influence you on a daily basis, whether it's on social media, whether it's your coworkers, whether it's your family members, and know what it is in every area that you're focused on that you want to do and what you want to accomplish. Whether it's weight loss or how you raise your children or how you manage your finances, heck, even how you make your famous spaghetti sauce, right? Someone else might try to tell you to make it another way, but you like it a certain way. I mean, that's really the best description I could think of, is if you have a food a certain way and other people trying to influence you to eat it differently. Stay on your track, stay true to you, and don't allow yourself to get distracted. And if you find yourself getting distracted by others' opinions and voices, be honest about it, be real with it. And if you need to, have an honest conversation with the person, sit down and express the respect and the love and the care, but how you can't allow that relationship to go on that way anymore so that you can take care of them. And I can tell you from personal experience that maybe if I'd had that conversation back then, that my relationship with some of those people may have turned out differently, and that maybe people wouldn't have been hurt by, or maybe not as many people would have been hurt on how things ended up proceeding in that situation. So that's my challenge. Hopefully my painful lesson will motivate you and give you some insight and focus. And don't forget, we are doing a drawing later this evening, probably around maybe 6-ish, for a fantastic Roden Fields little gift set Deb Peterson has made as part of our Simmering Slim Down Challenge. So if you haven't earned any entries, you still have a few hours to do so. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Monday. And remember, some diamonds go on rings and other diamonds dominate them. Let's dominate the ring of life together.